What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for jumping into another video. My name is Josh, and I am just your average Joe day trader. Hey guys, it is Sunday night, July 27th, and it is literally 7:56 p.m., 4 minutes before market opens at 8 p.m. to get the 24-hour clock running. Guys, I wanted to jump into this video a couple minutes before the market opened, number one, so we could start to talk a little bit about my strategy for how I set up my trades for the next morning, meaning how do I look at the charts? How do I make determinations or decisions based on what stocks in the best day trade stocks list that I'm going to be looking at and focusing my attention on come Monday morning. So we're going to spend a couple minutes and I'm going to show you how I actually chart to prepare for the next morning. And I do this every Sunday night and usually around the time where the market opens because I want to understand the gap up or gap down. And I had some good questions tonight in the Discord asking me, hey, how do you decide what stocks to look at the next day? Well, as you guys know, I've spent a lot of time going through many stocks and trending them over 30 days, over a 90-day period using 200 days. I'm looking at the moving averages. I'm trying to understand exactly what's happening with cash flow for each company. I want to know as much about the companies as I can. So I do all the research beforehand, and then I chart and track those stocks for at least 7 days to 30 days until I start to see a trend and where there's a pattern. APLD, for example, most every single day when APLD opens, it automatically drops down when it first opens and then spends the rest of the day or into that morning climbing back up. So I know that APLD potentially, unless there's some sort of crazy news where everybody agrees the market's going to just explode, I know APLD is going to pull back a little bit first thing in the morning, and then it's going to start a run up. And if we go to APLD, so let's actually look at APLD on the chart, and you can see, actually, let's switch over to the custom screen, and that's Apple. Let's go to APLD. Okay, so you can see here, all right, let's go to the 30-minute. You can see, let's get back to day one today. All right, you can see like yesterday, Friday was not a good day. I even told you guys, it's probably the first day I have not traded APLD in, I can't remember the last time, months of months. I have not. It's probably been almost a year since I did not trade in the day, intraday, APLD. It just had a rough day. But if you look at the day before, and we'll actually get, let's go more to the 5 minutes. You can see this, okay? If you look the day before, you see this, market open, a bit of a jump, but a hard drop. And then it spent the rest of the day after this horizontal time running up. Okay, we got 1 minute till the market opens, and I want to be on the S&P 500 so we can see it. Okay, same thing with the day before. This is Wednesday, hard drop, and then it spent some vertical time growing, another hard drop, and then it spent the rest of the day on an upward trend. So I know this is how APLD runs every day. Guys, let's switch over to the S&P 500 real quick. I want to see the market open. It's going to tell us a lot about what the market's going to do and whether we're going to see gap up or gap down. Okay, so here we are in the S&P 500, and we're going to wait for this. This is going to be a very telling tale, and we're literally 20-something seconds away. And it may not show immediately on here. Matter of fact, let's go here. S&P 500. That's what we want. Okay, boom, guys. So, but not disappointed at all. So look at what actually happened here, guys. We immediately went, and it's kind of pulling back a little bit, but think about this. Look, the market closed 637.49, and what happened? It jumped and a gap up to 639.42, and it's at 639.18 right now. Guys, this is good news. Now, this is just my opinion. You guys can do what you want with this, but generally for me on Sunday nights, when I look and see a gap up, it's giving me potential trend for how the market is reacting to news, things that happen over the weekend, from the closing on Friday. How much of a sell-off was there? How many orders were placed by institutional investors, by brokerage firms? Were there sell-offs? Were there purchase orders in? And this is really good news. Now, can it hold this gap through the night? That's what we have to wait to find out. But look at this, guys. We already have, and obviously this is the 1 minute. So let's go to 15. We already in the 15 minute, see where it pumped up. You could say seller pressure is already pushed down. So there may be some options, things happening and all that. But look, buying pressure is pushing it back up. This is a great, great sign. I'm very excited to see this, especially going into a solid earnings week. Okay. And I'm going to put up on the screen here, it's going to cover me completely. But just for a minute, if you want to pause and take a snapshot of this, these are the top companies. Okay. The companies most looked at right now for those earnings results. And you see there are some heavy, heavy hitters in this week. There's some that I look at that maybe people wouldn't say are really heavy hitters, but Waste Management, okay, UPS, Cheesecake Factory, CVS, okay, big results potentially could come from that. And if you play earnings like I do, then you're looking for that hard drop and then buying in and letting it run back up and selling out of it, making profit on it quick, sniping it, getting out, okay? But we also have some of the Magnificent Seven this week, okay? We got Apple, we got Amazon, okay? Big names this week that are going to be playing into the game this week. The other thing I wanted to share with you guys, let me pull this up real quick for you. I posted this in the Discord for the group, but we have also what's going on this week. And what do we have going on this week? Well, obviously we have all of our earnings. So there's a lot of green here telling you what those earnings tickers are. But on Monday at 1 p.m., we get the 2 and 5 year note auction. That'll be interesting. 10 a.m. on Tuesday, consumer confidence report. The jobs opening 10 a.m. on Tuesday, which could have some major impact, very high impact on the market. 7-year note at 1 o'clock. Then on Wednesday, some huge, potentially market busters. Okay, we got the ADP employment report, GDP, the FOMC interest rate decision. We'll see what happens with Powell and what's going on with that. And then Fed Chair Powell is going to actually do a press conference at 2:30. And as you guys know, I've shared with you a million times, it crashes the market every time the guy gets in front of a podium. Yes, dramatic, not a crash, but it absolutely causes so much crazy fear in the market. So we'll see what happens. And then there's a bunch of other stuff going on Thursday. Challenger job cut report, the initial jobless claims, PCE, core PCE, personal income, personal spending report, that's high, the PMI composite. And then on Friday, we've got the U.S. employment report and the U.S. employment rate hourly wage report, very high potentially for causing concerns in the market. But that is the week ahead. That's what's going on there. Now let's go to the chart. Let's go to the charts real quick, and let's kind of see what's going on here. So you can see the S&P 500 is still holding up here in this 639.31 range. That is a good sign, guys. Let's go to the 1 minute and see. Yeah, look, we are running horizontal. So you can pretty much say that most stocks, and we're going to go to it in a minute, some of the ones that I love to trade every day, potentially are up with the S&P 500. Because remember, the S&P 500 comprised of 500 plus companies, 514 tickers, of which 157 of those are stock specific, tech and AI and microchips and all that sector, and so a lot of those stocks tend to run up. So let's go to the stocks here, and if we go into my positions, right, we'll go into my positions. You're going to see here APLD. Wow, look at this, guys. Oh, I love this. Look at that. It makes me so happy when I see APLD in an overnight launch, because potentially, and it's at 11.18, it's back to 10.85 right now. No, it's not. It's at 11.15 right there. Look, guys, sorry. I'm reading the after hours. 11.15. Nice. So if this continues to stay in this upward trend here, let's go to the 1 minute and see, is it running horizontal? It is. Okay. You see these, basically you had this dragonfly, but again, these abandoned babies right here, it's sticking. So we'll see what happens. Soundhound, same thing. Soundhound's up. Okay. Wolf, WULF. Well, hard to see. A lot of abandoned babies on here, but it is up here. This is the abandoned baby at 519. Let's see. SoFi. Okay, SoFi's up. Love to see that because they had a bit of a run down. Palantir, oh god, I love Palantir, guys. Long-term hold Palantir. Look at that, 160.50. Apple, okay, Apple also had to jump up. It fought it a little bit, but it's holding up there. And Tesla also up on a little bit of a downward spiral down, but 320.80, not bad, not bad. So here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to go through every stock with you guys because this is kind of just wanted to keep you for a few minutes, short video, but I'm going to share with you what I do on Sunday nights now. I'm going to start with APLD. And what I do is I go to the 15-minute, and I'm actually going to, let's go to the custom screen so we can see this better. And let's go to APLD, okay? And here's what we do. Okay, go to 15 minutes. And here's how I do this. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw. We're going to find a rectangle. And then I'm going to take its highest point on Friday, okay? And I'm going to run it down to the lowest point on Friday. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull my chart over as far as I can. And then I'm going to grab this and I'm going to pull it all the way across into Monday. Okay. Now, what I'm looking for is the high and the low. So we're going to do a little bit of math here, kind of a guesstimate, 1151 to a low here of 1085. Okay. And I'm sorry, but not a math whiz. So 1085 to 1151. Okay. So you're talking 76 cents. Okay. So we're going to say about 32 and a half cents. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a horizontal line. Okay. And I'm just going to place it right here. Sometimes it's pretty accurate. Okay. And then we're going to, and now we're going to go here and we're going to set this to 1117. I'm going to make it 1118 because it doesn't do the half. Maybe it'll do the half tonight. No, 1118. I don't know why it doesn't do that on this chart. And now we're going to make this yellow. So here's what I've done for myself. Okay. I've got for Monday, I've got basically my support level here. And I've got my resistance level. And what I'm looking for, okay, I'm going to go out to 30 minutes now. What I'm looking for in this box is tomorrow morning. First, I'm looking to see, which is already getting ready to do, it's hit this medium average resistance level. If it breaks this resistance level in the middle of the night, then I personally, my opinion, not financial advice, sharing with you what I do, personally believe that it will continue to hit this resistance level, okay, which I'm going to go ahead and add a line here. All right, that's 1151, and I'm going to call that my blue sky. You guys know I like to make that my blue sky. And I'm going to add another one down here. And I clear this out daily, so just so you know, 1074, okay? So now I know that 1118, 1175, it is my resistance level. And I'm waiting to see APLD break this resistance level. Now, look, you can already see just from charting this with you guys that look what it did. It hit this average from the last day, average resistance level, and it basically rejected it. It came down. Now that's in a 30-minute. Look, even in the 5-minute, it got here and then it pulled back. Let's go to 1 minute. Okay, it got here and it pulled back. Okay, so immediately I know tomorrow through the 24-hour market, through waiting to see if it's going to break through this resistance level. Okay, and you guys can do this as well. And this is a very, very basic, easy thing to do. Now, if I get to the morning and it actually breaks through this resistance level and it goes towards this $11.51 resistance level, well, now I have decisions to make on multiple ways. Number one, are you bag holding this from the week before? Did you get into this stock and potentially you're a bag holder? You have to decide, what are you going to do with that stock? Because depending on how much you're in, sometimes, and I hate to say, If you don't sell it, you don't lose anything, but you also have to understand a stock like APLD that I know the trend every single day is at market open right here, okay? At this period of time, which is 9:30 in the morning, and you can see it down on the bottom. Look at the bottom there, 9:30 in the morning, tomorrow morning. There's the potential APLD does a drop pullback, and then it starts its run. Do you want to stay in it for the day? Depending on how much you're in it, you may decide if it hits that next resistance level and you don't see it break through at the open, then there's most likely it's the pullback, and you may want to get out of it and then get back into it. That's a lot of times what I may do. I don't like to bag hold APLD ever. I always tend to try to sell out of it every single day. See profit, take profit. Don't be greedy. Don't overstay your welcome. Something I share all the time. But you have to think, if you are bag holding, what do you do with this? Now, I know personally that from this, that if it gets stuck and it bounces on this resistance level, 100%, it's coming down. Okay. Now, whether it comes down halfway and it hits this now new support level, or it breaks the support level and keeps going, I don't know. You got to watch that. If you go to the day before, look, it lives in that same somewhat parameter. So let's do this. Let's add the box. Okay. Going to go the highest point down here to my lowest point. Okay. Boom. And I'm going to pull it over, and I'm going to pull it over. Okay. And look what happened. Probably not the same in the middle, and I'm not going to do the math on it, but let's say the high was 1141 and the low point was 1085. So same low point. Look at that in the day, guys. All right, no, 1074. Sorry, I lied. All right, so 1080 is the low point here. Okay, so 1080 to the high point here of 1141. So you're talking 61 cents. Okay, well, I don't need to do a lot of math. I know that the average here is about 30.5 cents. So somewhere in here is 30.5 cents. Let's do it. Let's add another line just for giggles. Okay, so there's my line. I'm going to go to my settings, and I'm going to put, let's see, 30.5 cents from 1080. So that's 1110. Okay, so basically 1111. We'll leave it at that. Okay, and let's make it yellow. It's going to be confusing for a minute because we already have. Let's make it a different color just for right now. So let's make that one green. Okay, so now look right here, guys. Okay, it's opened up. The market opened. It's hard to see, right? But the market opened right here on the way up, dropped down. Okay, it stopped at this support level right here, whatever that happened to be, and it worked its way back up. It did sort of break through, but it came back down, and it got stuck here multiple times through the day, okay, at this support level here. But look what else happened. It hit the top resistance level, and it rejected it, and it caused it to go back down. So tomorrow, what do we think's potentially going to happen tomorrow when we get in here? Well, it's already coming back. Look, it just dropped again. So it's already coming back, and potentially it's going to return to this area here. Let's click over to the S&P 500 and just kind of see what's going on with it. Okay. Okay, holding, which is kind of nice. Still holding there. That's good. That's good. Okay, but APLD is coming back down. So we have to wait and see what happens there. All right, and again, I'm on the 30-minute. So 15-minute, it's here. It's at this level. That's not ours. Let's get rid of that one because we don't want that one in there to confuse us with everything. But basically, here it is, and we need it to get back here and break through. If it doesn't break through this, then chances are it may run down and break back through this one and go lower tomorrow. So a lot of decisions to be made. And guys, that is how I set myself up for success every Sunday night. And I kind of look at it, and I'm actually going to take my computer, go sit on the couch, and go through most of my average Joe day trade stocks, the best ones, and the current ones I'm in a position for long term to understand what it's doing. And there's a lot of earnings. A lot of the stocks that I'm in for long term, in earnings this week. I might sell out, let it drop, and get back in at a lower price. Apple, there's some big names in there, Meta, and you got to make decisions on it each day. But anyway, guys, wanted to share this with you. Wanted to tell you that I'm excited about what this looks like for the day tomorrow. Let's real quick, just one more. Let's go to SoundHound. There's a ton of news about SoundHound. Okay, so SoundHound, same thing. Look, acting just like APLD. It did the same run up with the S&P 500. A little bit of a pullback here. So same thing. And I'm going to do my box trend, to see my support and resistance levels from the previous day. And we'll see how it works. But a lot of really good things are moving the market this weekend, guys. Trade tariff deal with the EU. Okay. 15%. And they've agreed to, number one, dump a ton of money into the market, into our energy stocks, which is good. Pull up energy stocks tonight or tomorrow and see what's going on with energy. Number two, they've agreed to make large purchases of military equipment from the US, which is huge. So look at your military type stocks. And I'm going to remind you, if you watch my video and you're in there, go to the Sky watch list. Okay. You guys know that I have the Sky watch list, and it's all the way at the end. Okay. The drones. This is the Sky watch list. Some of these may crank this week because other countries now are going to be purchasing military equipment. Well, what are we focused on in military? Drone technology. So keep an eye on these guys. This might be fireworks this week. But anyway, that, and then Japan, right? We have finalized Japan. And even though it may not be considered the best news, we have extended for another 90 days any negotiation, contract, agreement with China. As long as we keep pushing that back. And I know everybody calls Trump a chicken and all that stuff, the taco, right? All that stuff. Okay, whatever, guys. This is not political. But I will tell you, I'm kind of happy that it's pushed for another 90 days. Because what if it's horrible? What if it's a horrible deal? Then it's going to cause a lot of the tech stocks to run down. NVIDIA and all the chip stocks, AMD, APLD, all those potentially could be hurt. So I'm not disappointed. And it may cause the market to continue to run up as we continue to make S&P 500 new all-time highs. And guys, I can't wait to see what the market does through the night to the 4 a.m. And we will see what happens tomorrow morning, especially at the 9:30 bell. Thanks for jumping into this video. Guys, if you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Let's get rich together. Josh out. Peace.